You just know the music. There is the law of the music. So you have to go to the experts to let you know what that is, so that this exploitation comes to an end.
Great.
So it's very, very important for artists to study the laws of art, and also to read the fine print whenever they get into any contractual agreement.
Great. I think we'll pick it from there. I want to emphasize that point, what Jacob is saying, that when you get yourself into an engagement with an organization or some party as an artist that you're supposed to perform, there's that contract that is initiated between you and the person who is trying to contract you. He says that you have to read and understand what it carries and what is there for you. If you can't understand, you can always go to you might not necessarily need to go to a lawyer, but you can go to a seasoned, an experienced artist. If you are a friend with Olivia or my brother here, Davin, you actually go to them. You say that, I've actually been invited to perform at this event with this organization, and there's this document that they want me to sign. Can you help me read through? Is it okay? Or there's something that is missing? They'll help you, okay? And what Jacob says there is that you should know talent and art. Sometimes art is not something that you can actually just get. You are very special. So you stand your ground and say that, yes, thank you very much. It's a great honor that you've invited me to perform, but please, can you give me a day or two so that I can read this document through? And then you use that time to look for a friend or somebody you believe can help you out. Okay, are we together? Yes. So that you are not abused. Now, I want us to, Olivia, is there anything, and my friend, that you want to add on that? If not, I would want us to actually sign off with a positive note. Okay. Just the beauty of actually being in this space.
I mean, there's a lot to add, but I think the main thing I'll say is, as artists, let's start talking to each other. If you go somewhere and maybe the event promoter didn't treat you well or they didn't pay you, start telling people so that other people don't have to go through the same experience. I think it's so important. And if someone asks you how much you got paid, please share, because that's how some of us as artists, we end up negotiating bad deals. We don't know how much someone was paid. And let's stop undercutting each other. Don't be like, I'll be the cheapest and you can have me. Let me tell you, it will burn you in the end. And so as artists, we need to come together, right? And start demanding for things that we want. And I guess to end on a final note, I'm going to repeat what I said when I was speaking earlier. Be the change you want to see. A lot of the problems we're facing is because, unfortunately, artists do get into these positions of power and then we don't make the difference. So any platform you have as an artist, you'll be booking people soon. Maybe you'll have your own dance crew, you'll be the producer, you'll be the singer, you'll be whoever it is. Whatever role you play as an artist, pay your fellow artists, right? Be the change you want to see and share knowledge. Share your experience, come together, because we are the power. If the two of us say, you know what, okay, I just heard he's doing something in money, I'm doing something in money, let's come together and see how we can work together. It's not a competition. There's enough opportunities for all of us. Don't believe that lie. There's enough opportunities. And I'll tell you, as someone who's learning more about funding, there is money and there's more money coming to Kenya. Like, I don't know if you guys have been to Ngara recently. They're investing a lot in Ngara and they're trying to take a whole street just for artists. So there's money coming to Kenya, but you have to position yourself to be able to get the money. So don't give up. And the last thing is find information. Go on those websites I told you about. Don't just stay with artists. Go and listen to what people are talking about when it comes to finance, when it comes to funding. Because the artists who make the most money are art business. They learn about marketing. And all this information is there. You can go on YouTube. You can follow different people who are sharing. I share a lot of knowledge on my social media. So yeah, there's hope. This is the age of information. So regardless of the state of our country, I believe that there's a lot of opportunity. And 4 or 5 years from now, we'll be having a different conversation.
Great, yeah. Yes.
And maybe just to add on that one also, in terms of what Jacob talked about, signing contracts. It's about signing contracts. In my work as the SG for KCCAA, we insisted that each and every member must ensure that the artists they are working with sign contracts. It is through that contract that unaweza kunegotiate ama uweze kuleta lawama baadaye. Useme kwamba this is what is supposed to happen na alifanya hivi. But without a contract, me as a producer, I'll tell you that your worth on that day that nilikuwa nataka kulipa ilikuwa shilingi ngapi? Shilingi 500. You'll do nothing about it. And where there is no contract, the law cannot protect you that much. Surprisingly, I've done copyright law with Harvard Law School CopyX program. And what we studied is that at least we are sure there are laws that protect artists in this country. Even under the Kenyan constitution, we are protected under that constitution that we have. So it's just a matter of us deciding that I will not perform. I'll take a job as it comes, but I'll not perform until I have a contract. Hata kama ni rafiki yangu. Even if I'm your brother, even if I'm your MCA, umenipigia kura venye mnaenda kunipigia kura 2027. Even after voting for me, when I'm giving you work, sign a contract with me. That's the bottom line for each and every artist. Alafu kitu ingine pia, wasanii unajua ukiwa peke yako hawezi piga kelele kasikika. Haiwezi sikika. Governments and even big bodies big organizations don't listen to individuals. Utapiga kelele peke yako. But once mmeungana pamoja, join associations that can protect you. Association kama Kenya Cultural Center, Association of Artists. Ukiwa na kesi yoyote uko nayo ya usanii, yoyote tu, uambie tu, tutakusaidia. Tutaweza ku advocate for your rights, for your interests, and also pursue that matter to its logical and legal conclusion to ensure that umesaidika. So usiende peke yako. Ukienda peke yako you cannot succeed. Sasa hizo unasikia opportunities zenye mwenzangu hapa anaongelea. Kama singekuwa nimekuja kukua katika kikundi cha hapa, singesikia kuna opportunity ya Hiva Fund, kuna hizo ambao maongelezo zingine, singeweza kujua. But once we start coming together, talking, having a conversation, tunapata kuweza kulearn about so many things, na tukiamua kwamba mambo imeharibika, tunaweza piga kelele na tusaidike bado. Na uzuri ni kwamba sasa hizi kuna digital age whereby tuna communicate on social media, tunafanya maandamano on social media, tunazunguka na piga kelele on social media mpaka wadosi wanasikiza. Wanasema sasa wanasema namna gani? So unajua nyinyi ni majenzi, hata wengine ni majenzi hapa siku leo. So once you make that noise in that manner, in an organized manner, that's when you can succeed. Without that one, hamwezi. Finally, wewe join kama ni wasanii sako, fanya deposits zako save kidogo kidogo kule, utapata dividends, utapata investments, tunafanya vitu mingi sana. Loan nakupatia, lipa hiyo loan, chukua nyingine, endeleza maisha yako vizuri kabisa, utapata progress in life. When that hard time comes, uko na mtu akuweza kuprotect. Alafu mwisho kabisa, in the coming election ukipata nafasi ya kuja hospital ward in Mathare, tafuta MCA anaitwa Wandera. Mimi ndio Wandera. Nipigie kura. I am only there to represent your rights and fight for your rights, fight for your space. Asante.
Great. Jacob, you have the final word.
Yeah. There's the issue, what he's just been talking about. I think artists were late in doing this. Unionization is a very important thing. And I remember around 10 years ago, there was something like Artists Guild or something. But from what my friend Wandera is talking about, you can see that immediately the artists took unionization very seriously, yeah, and registered you see, things are now systematic, and you can lobby, and you can, because there's no way you'll have musicians there, actors there, dancers there, and they're making noise. These ones are complaining about this, the other ones are doing this. But unionization is a very important thing. And I think we are seeing unionization change the life of artists. So I would like to actually just urge as many artists as possible to join this union so that their voice can be heard, so that it is not a whisper anymore. You have an avenue where now you can present your grievances, you can negotiate. It's sort of some kind of a leverage to do so many other things, apart from just dispute resolution, the overall development of the artist.
Great. I think a round of applause for my panel. Jacob Okech there, we have Olivia, and we have Wandera. MCA. Now, I actually want to emphasize what Olivia said when she came here earlier to speak, she spoke about that there are rewards. There's money in art. And she spoke of organizations that actually support or promote arts and artists. I just want to go, Hainga is a journalist, so I was writing Olivia. So there's HIVO. It's an organization my former managing director at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, who is a veteran journalist and a great writer, Waithaka Waihenya, at one time he was actually on the board of this Kenya National Theatre. He wrote a book, one of the most authoritative books that you can also have just about KBC, the history of KBC. And it was actually because he got a grant from HIVOS. Okay? So Olivia is real. That is an organization that would actually support you. Write a proposal if you have something that you want to do. You go there, they'll support you. I saw it actually when they supported my former managing director, who is a veteran journalist and writer, Waithaka Waihenya. She spoke of another organization called Music in Africa. She spoke of another organization called Africa No Filters. And then she spoke of the Goethe Institute that has a mobility fund. Okay, I've worked with Goethe Institute for many years, and they are real. I'll just end actually by giving you a story, especially for those ones who are beginning to start in their art, the youngsters, those wonderful promise. I call them the promise. The young girls and boys who came to perform here, they are the promise of this nation. Okay? Tomorrow, there will be Hainga. Tomorrow, there will be Olivia. There will be Wandera. There will be Jacob. Now, the Goethe Institute, I've worked with it. So we had a program. We started a program at the Goethe Institute called Literary Crossroads, conversation between African writers from the diaspora and from the continent and the diaspora. It was a program that was actually launched in 3 African cities, Nairobi, Lagos, and Johannesburg. So we launched our program here at the Goethe Institute in Nairobi, and the Germans, the Goethe Institute, actually sent me to Lagos to go and launch the program there. And I was chairing a panel of Nigerian writers and artists. And you are just coming to the close of that program. And then one of the writers on my panel we had Ambassador Ifoma Akabugu Chinuba, the Nigerian writer. And then we had another Nigerian writer called Molara Wood. So as you are just ending the program, as we are doing now, Molara Wood raised her hand and she said, Hainga, please, there's a young writer there seated in that audience. I would want her to just stand and wave to the audience. And because I was chairing the panel, I said, no, she's not just going to stand there and wave. I invited her to come onto the stage. Her name is Diekara Olurontuba Uju. It's those complex Yoruba names. So I invited this young writer, and she came. She was 19 years when I met her. And as she spoke, I realized that here is a story that has not been told, that needs to be told. And I told my German handlers at the Goethe Institute in Lagos, who had invited me, that why can't you plan that I produce the Books Cafe program that I do here in Lagos with this young writer before I go back to Nairobi. And I did that. Now, this is why I'm telling you this story. She started writing when she was 16 years old. And by the time she was 19, she had actually written a novel. It is called When Lemons Grow on Orange Trees. The young ones there, can you say, when lemons grow on orange trees? When lemons grow on orange trees. That is a book, a novel that was written by a young writer when she was 16 years old. When I met her, she was 19. Now, when she was writing, this is the point. She was so frustrated. Where am I going to get the publisher to publish this book? So she was worried. Should I continue writing? And I don't know, I don't understand that publishing industry. I might as well just drop and leave. But luckily for her, like you who are here, she went to an event, the Ake Literature Festival in Lagos, and the great Wole Soyinka was there, the first African to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. So she sought audience with Wole Soyinka, and she poured all her frustrations about wanting to write as a young girl. And Wole Soyinka told her, look here, my daughter, look here, my niece, look here, my nephew or my son. Say, write and be damned. Wole Soyinka said, write and be damned. What am I saying? Don't worry that the reward is not coming now. Do your art. That reward is going to come. A round of applause for my panel. A round of applause for my panel. Jacob, let us sign off with you actually reading a poem from Professor Elizabeth Ochazon-Mazrui's book. Pick a poem there and read. Just one poem. Introduce the poem.
Yeah, I'm reading from Bittersweet, The Pain and Joy of Being, written by my friend, Professor Elizabeth Ochazon-Mazrui. And I'm going to read a poem which is entitled Charles. The phone rang. What a surprise from London. I was exhilarated, my voice vibrating with excitement. I replied happily. Hello, I said, but only silence greeted me the other end. Deadly silence that came to me loud and clear. From alien space, so it seemed to me. I asked what was wrong, but only silence greeted me. Fear seized me, and I trembled, waiting for your voice to come to me from so far away and calm my throbbing heart. Then you spoke slowly. King, it is bad news about Charles. You said in chilling tones that froze my heart and left me in cold sweats. Charles is no more. He perished over the Alps. His plane in smithereens. His body a million unrecognizable pieces, fragments of nothingness. The phone dropped. My elation stifled me. My joy choked me. Unseeing, I gazed beyond my window to those faraway Alps. Charles, is there a message you left me to numb this searing pain? A message etched in blood in that dazzling snow of those alien. Could mountains so beautiful chain a line? Could mountains so beautiful cliff so young? Is there a message you left to explain why life is so cruel? If I come there, to those pristine mountains, will my tears of blood mingle with yours, incessantly coloring those dazzling slopes with the redness of death? Will I see your laughing face reflected a million times in that gleaming whiteness? Or will I see your heart etched in that glittering snow, colored red with your blood? I ask again if there's a message written in the sky above that dazzling whiteness of death. If there is a sign you left etched in eyes for me to find, to assuage my pain. If I come there, will I hear your laughter echo and re-echo across the vastness of...
Umesikia kuhusu wasanii wajengwe, lakini pia tunataka wasanii pia nyinyi muwajibike, sawa?
Bana.
Wasianze kuorganize magig zao pia mauli zao, anza chini
Tunatoa miguu kwa gunia.
Sisi tunafanyagaje base to base?
Every Sunday.
Si ufanyaga base to base mradi ya wasanii every Sunday.
Kujituma.
Kwa sababu ulikuja tukaangalia industry haikutambui kabla uja grow.
Bana.
So tukaangalia neighborhood wase wanaga mboka. Tukatafuta tu sound size ya noma.
Side hustle.
Kuna marapa wetu wa noma pale hivyo.
Deadly.
Na kwa kila neighborhood soka tuna make sure tumwakilisha.
Yeah.
Na uzuri imetupiga booster kwa sababu hiyo tuko consistent. Nimefanya hata mimi leo niko hapa.
Hata mimi.
Si uko hapa juu kwa consistent.
Juu hiyo consistency.
So as much as wasanii wanataka kusema ati kuna system fulani inafaa kuorganize hiyo ndo mambo yako poa. System haitakuwa fit kama mwenyewe uko disorganized. Sawa? So mwenyewe pia jipange. Make sure unafanya stuff yako every week, rusha content yako mahali fulani. Organize gig yako pale kwa chumi ya mtaa yenu. Tafuta ka sound, piga tu show. Wase watakufollow na jina ita grow. Give the moment sasa ile unapata partner anataka kuwork na wewe, usha create kitu ya leverage. Sawa? Because wewe huwezi kutaka kulipwa show na wewe mwenyewe huko.
Aje.
Mtu manzia na flow unasikia yuko lakini ana insist lazima ajengwe.
Aje.
So skill lazima pia create spaces za kuibuild. Give the moment opportunity na kuja kucommit ina meet manzia wewe uko prepare. Ndio leo unajua vile si ufanya. Mashinani pale level base every Sunday. Show yetu tunatoka hii mtaa tunaingia mtaa nyingine, tuko Dando hii wiki, next week tuko Sao, hii wiki nyingine tuko Sivo. Na wewe tena bro
mzima.
Na DJ Gush yuko tu hapa anaweza kuambia ndio DJ.
Our DJ.
Na imetupatia opportunity save. So right about now ladies and gentlemen, without wasting your time, wacha kwanza tuambie leaders
Aduda?
Leaders kama uko na group make sure
umeniona.
Amekuona.
Wanione hapa
Sahi.
Leader wa kila group. Hii group ikiperform mtaniona hapa nyuma tu sahi. Leader wa kila group.
Sahi.
Yeah, sahi.
Waswat group yote kwa pata tafadhali make sure mwana Swanky. Sawa?
Yeah. Then kuna announcement ingine.
Yeah.
Tumeambiwa juu kuko na snacks na kila mtu atapata. Tunataka tukuwe na kitu inaitwa discipline. Ya nini? Ya usafi. Kama wasanii. Ukipatiwa don't litter.
Usikunywe maziwa yako kama usikunywe snack yako kama hiyo karatasi utupe anywhere. Sawa?
Hata ili mkuje mniulize mtaweka wapi.
Sawa.
Wapatia jibu.
Usafi muhimu
Bana.
Right. Sasa tumesikia. So viongozi ndio lenyu kwa Pop City na timu yake.
Yeah, kila kiongozi mwenye ako na kila group, unajua group yako ni ya watu wangapi, tunaweza patana hapa nyuma, then sasa tumeka step kutoka hapo tukiwa sisi wote, tujue venye kila mtu atapata feeding yake.
Sasa